Welcome to Slow Unpacking, where we unpack magic but take our sweet time with it. This week is one of the most impressive pulls. We have multiple surprises in this one, so definitely stick around to somewhere just before the end. Enjoy. Spark Harvest from Kieran Yanner. Flavor: with the harvest of Domri's spark, the Elder spell began to fuel Bolas's ascension to Godhood. Spark Harvest is a card from War of the Spark, where Nicol Bolas stole the spark from Domri in order to fuel his plans to become a god. Right after Bolas is defeated, the Phyrexians also try to become a god. There's something that we are missing about Godhood in MTG that is so alluring. Here, this one is fairly cruel, but also not too much. Domri likes fighting, he did so and now he can't anymore. He had a great life, in other words. We sacrifice a creature to become gods, or, kill another creature, at least. Which is not what actually happens here, or at least not what the goal was. Sad times in this card. Then we have Raise the Alarm from Zoltan boros. Flavor: like blinking or breathing, responding to an alarm is an involuntary reflex. This is a short but powerful message. If you have never seen this before, healthcare workers or firemen that are on alarm duty often instinctively move when they hear their alarms. The same goes for these soldiers. Just ring the massive bell and at least two guys will rush forwards. To what? We don't know, but they will go. This is why it is awful to ring the alarm when nothing is wrong. Don't be that person. Kitesail Corsair from Greg Opalinski. Flavor: white birds in the crow's nest, when I can fly like the crows. The first pirate from ixalan of the spec, and it is a flying one. We have seen a flying pirate in the previous Commander pack as well. Like I said, these are all about exploring and being on an adventure and basically scouting the enemy out for the raids these pirates want to do. Imagine how fun it would be to fly upside down like this. This pirate must have a lot of control over his flying, and he has a gun. Pretty dangerous in some ways. Although I doubt someone would be able to aim well while flying. At least he is having a lot of fun while doing this. The towers he is flying over are the towers of Oraska. I think this means that this pirate is having so much fun even, that he does not notice the towers that this whole set was about. Crimson Fleet Commodore by Sidharth Chaturvedi. Flavor: kindly steer your fleet clear of the waters west of Scrub Isle. It would be a shame to incinerate such exquisite maritime craftsmanship. Commodore Exoric to Admiral Gillies. Sidharth Chaturvedi. I do not feel like we see him often, but whenever we do, the composition is just shocking. This guy feels like a king as he stands like this, but then it's the side of the ship, so we start to doubt. But he still must be important. All that from composition alone. Then he is the Commodore of Admiral Gillies, which is a cute story. She is an admiral with a great trust in her crew. She says back: "Your concern for my safety is touching, but as long as your gunners remain reliably erratic, I see no reason to change course." So here, the red card wants to be careful, and the blue card says no, continue on. Whenever these colors are about pirates, the red stands for the love these pirates have for each other, and the blue stands for the sense of adventure, like we have seen in Jory N, which is the sense of wanting to know more of the world and hence still feeling free. Is that not amazingly cute? Universal Solvent by Christopher Moeller. Flavor: a few drops of this and the trickiest problems simply melt away, by Thomas Weldfast Inventor. Last week we had Universal Automaton that could become anything. Here we see the solvent of anything. You can imagine being this rogue and focusing very well in order not to solve your own hand. Thamas is not an actual person yet, so now we only know that he deals in very dodgy machinery and concoctions. Or, if we believe the mechanics, this solvent is rather easy to put together, but getting the right results is the hard part. You can now imagine how many times this must have gone wrong. Gelum Tone by Tiritilli. Flavor: most books simply deliver knowledge. This one expects some in return. Looking at the word Jalum, nothing really pops up except for this book. This is still a very important book that Urza has used to gain a lot of his powers. Urza did not even understand all of the properties of the book. Maybe he did not give the book enough to gain all the knowledge that he got from it. To me, a book that won't stop before letting me read it is annoying, but then the information must be pretty important, so I would still do it. In the case of this card, this is represented by you having to discard, of course. What is more impressive is that Ursa has given this book so much knowledge that any person that now reads this book must give it a lot of knowledge in order to gain anything back from it. Eyeblight Assassin by Dan Scott. Flavor: Bogart Blood disgusts me almost as much as the foul creatures themselves. The Guildleaf Elves of Lorwyn call every person with an imperfection an Eyeblight. They despise these persons, even if they have just a little scar on their face, but especially when someone is of another species. So yeah, this is a pretty dark card in many ways, and Wizards printed this still. What they want to say about this, I don't know. But okay, as far as I know, a Bogart is a creature that is more of a house spirit. These are mostly kind spirits that come to be the personality of your house. Clean your house and these creatures will even sometimes help you tidy up. Don't clean it though, and they will become harsh pranksters, so go do the dishes. Spectral Searchlight by Maritina Pilcerova. Flavor: the searchlights were given as gifts, symbols of cooperation, to the emissaries present at the signing of the Guild Pact. This searchlight is a gift for your opponents, or it might be a gift for all the signers of the Guild Pact. A little bit of a meager gift, and I do wonder what Niv Mizzet would do with this. I do hope that most of these powerful beings do have ways to at least make little light. But still, a really bad card, but a cool made art effect from Maritina Pilcerova, with some green light where green really does not even look at this card, but it does seem eerie this way. Fiery Cannonade by Ben Wooten. Flavor: wary of the ferocious dinosaurs, the Legion of Dusk build up the walls of their fort, just in time for the pirates to burn them down. This is the second time this card is in one of these commander packs. Ixalan is really calling us from these packs. The vampires of this world are peopled with their own lands on another continent that we know little about, except for the fact that there are a lot of girls there and that they treat their animals badly. These vampires we see here have colonized another piece of land and on another continent, but this continent is not so friendly towards them. And now the vampires have to learn to deal with their blood hunger and with the dinosaurs and ships with fiery cannons. Tough luck for these guys. It is also funny to me that vampires seem to be pretty weak to fire here, which is a little bit of a vampire movie staple, but I won't get into my personal hobbies too much. Scrounging Vandar by Sidharth Chaturvedi. Flavor: it was right here a second ago. I have seen this little trickster a lot in Commander games. I have never known what a fun character it was. It steals artifacts for some reason and then keeps it for himself. I do know that this card works very well in counter decks, as it can redistribute its counters later. This card is from Kaladesh, where the renegades are revolting against the consulate, to regain their freedom, basically. This monkey cat has been free forever, showing us how nature is in a sense freedom. It is also showing us that even though a monkey might just be playing around, he might be helping a revolt to happen. Fire Diamond by Lindsay Luke. Flavor: the essence of flame to stoke the spirit. This is the second time we have looked at this exact diamond from Lindsay Luke. This is a great mana rock that is very cheap. It just enters tapped, but budget wise, it's great. Now, except from that, we only have the fire to talk about. Red is less and less affiliated with just fire. It is more about the emotion now, and this flavor text shows that. But whenever you do see a fire spell, it is in red and sometimes in white. Now, how does fire mend with the spirit? Well, it burns in a way. Every act of passion, every burning desire, and maybe even every hot take is in a way red. This is an awesome piece of art too. We have seen it twice now, but like I said the previous time, it is really hard to make hands at all, and this one is so realistic, with even the suit on the nails to remind us that red can get their hands dirty too. Spontaneous Mutation by Christopher Moeller. Flavor: when the body turns, the mind soon follows. Another pirate card where the pirate turns into a tentacle being. Because of this, the pirate is less strong, the more cards you have sunk. Yeah, I don't know how that works either. I do like the fact that the flavor hints at the fact that the pirate might go crazy because they have tentacle arms. That does resonate with me. Other than that, I really dislike the story it tells, but cool idea. Anointed of Valor by Antonio José Manzanedo. Flavor? Light streaked down from the heavens, and the voice whispered in the soldier's ear, "You shall not fall today." Anointer is a 3/5 flying angel that can make creatures that attack stronger. In other words, she rewards valor in her soldiers. Imagine being on the battlefield, you just steeled your resolve, and then out of nowhere someone whispers, "You shall not fall today." You would be flustered, yes, but then you would have all the motivation to fight even harder, because you will not fall today. This is almost an angel of Avacyn, but then you see that the spear is more like a harp. The awesome thing is that the soldiers that fight for her, you can see them running beneath it, making this my third favorite art for the feeling it gives off. Antonio usually makes pretty dark art, but whenever he makes something hopeful, it turns out to be awesome and most vibrant. Revenant by Chris Gold. Flavor? Not again, Hans. Revenant is one of those cards that make you wonder, how big can this one get? Well, this one is flying, so it will already be pretty aggressive with 4 small bunnies in your graveyard. But feed it even more cute stuff and you will have a real menace. People will get mad at me if I don't mention that Hans is the main character of Magic and that his flavor text is really important here and that we have to see this monster as the main protagonist of the actual story. But I want to focus on the art, not even just the fact that this is actual juxtaposition of a cutie rabbit and this flying ghost thing that wants to scare it or something. No, because this is my actual favorite art of this pack, because of the contrast of pure and defiled, and the smoky texture really gives life to this creature that had none before. Explosion of Riches by Chris Seaman. Flavor? You've got how much gold there? Chris Seaman has made these goblins very active in his art. One of the treasures randomly explodes in one of the goblins' faces, and the other goblins are still reaching for more. The one that has his face blown off is still happy as well. When you play this card, your opponents are the goblins, and even though this card might not be the strongest, it might do 15 damage to one opponent, and it is that their fault for being such a goblin. You were just handing out gifts after all, and after that, you can call your opponents goblins. Noxious Dragon by Svetlin Velenov. Flavor? Dragons of Silumgar's brood begin to digest their prey even before consuming it, letting their caustic breath do much of the work. Svetlin Velenov. We have seen him a lot before, but only from 2 almost identical colossuses. Colossi from Zendikar. Now this is a rather massive dragon too, not in his size but from his effect. For 6 mana you get an air elemental and you can destroy a smaller creature. A smaller creature will not be able to survive the breath of this thing, and as this one is from Tarkir, it will be killing a lot of wimpy humans with it. This dragon is perfect as a Silumgar brood, as it destroys a lot. Silumgar calls these more destructive dragons Death Bringers, which is very fitting of course. Silumgar prefers to keep his brood dumb and aggressive, so that he can keep power more easily. But of course there is a lot of infighting between these dragons as well. If the humans of Tarkir were to regain power there, I think Silumgar would be first to fall. Mana Drain from Raymond Swanland. Flavor? Enthusiasm is no match for preparation. Wow. Yeah, this is an amazing card to have. Mechanically it is a staple that anyone needs if you can afford it in your deck. It can be quite a challenge to make a budget deck with this in it, so most people will not play it. But everyone wants great ramp and a counterspell for only 2 mana of course. But that's not what this channel is about. I was prepared for this and my enthusiasm is no match for that. For these I value every card equally, even though my own excitement excites me so much. But still, this is nice flavor for a stuck-up blue player that plays cards that are a little too good for your friendly kitchen table. Then lastly, yes to the art as well. This one is one of the coolest vortexes I have ever seen, and it seems to be sucking the red mana straight from its source. That is kind of amazing on its own. How meta this card has become. I want to also read the most amazing flavor of all time from the Judge Gift version of this card. Power is wasted on the weak. They never keep it for long, by Nico Bolas. Belbe, Corrupted Observer by Igor Kirfluk. Flavor: those who wish to become Evinsar must first cast off the shackles of compassion. Now this is an important character that is the makeup of Revenant. Is this a coincidence? Yes. See the black gem in her chest? That's Jacquemus' eye. Belba is a lens for him to see through. Belba was captured and forced to become like this, and then she had to choose a Vinkar. Apparently her elven nature overtook her zombie parts and she fell in love with one of the candidates. She then got killed out of nowhere and no one ever really found out that she was a corrupted traitor at heart. Here we do see the more corrupted version of Belba, as the stone is still intact. Later on she would destroy it so that she could not be spied on. Amareth the Lustrous by Lee Setyawan. Flavor: come closer, dear, and let me see that bauble. I've got a match for it somewhere. Wayfarer's bauble? Well, the awesome things about this pack do not stop. We have seen gameplay of Standard before, but create Commander, I have a bit of a challenge for you. I want you to make a deck with Amareth as the commander and show us what you have got. I will link your channel in the description so that people can await your deck there. This is an interesting challenge, as Amareth likes anything that he already has. In other words, he wants you to make a deck with a lot of things that share a card type, and then he will draw you a lot of cards. Imagine walking into this huge dragon's lair and then he starts showing you all of her treasure, and she is really enthusiastic as well. So you have to keep nodding and you have to be interested all the while. No worries, Amareth is not interested in eating you. She only wants things that are like her, and you are nowhere like her. Champion of the Flame, Wayne Reynolds. Flavor: Grand Warlord Radha's challengers are always defeated, but she rewards the most passionate with the Flame of Keld. After that, they burn for her. I have used this in Arena because you can build a cheap deck with it that is not mono red. Or it might be mono red and then at least you are doing some cool shenanigans with auras with it. Apart from the cool mechanic, this is a champion that is honored for his passion, not his strength. He is a 1/1. Then when he is blessed by his leader, he gets extra excited and immediately his enthusiasm increases exponentially. Enthusiasm might be not much of a match for preparation, but if you use it well, it just might. This guy loves compliments. Also, this art is amazing too. The flames look so strong and the scream this human makes seems terribly happy and angry at the same time, just like the flavor says. Keldans are known for their fierce conquering of the world, and this one shows why, because of their intense emotions. If you want me to do a deeper dive on Keld's history and all cards that mention it, let me know and I will do it. This is not a bluff. Just make sure that you are enthusiastic enough. If not, no problem, I am prepared. Spirit Token by Jason A. Angle. Whoa, as well. Talking about iconic tokens. These spirits are straight fire. Look at these wisps and tell me that you would mind for these kinds of spirits to roam the streets at night. Just imagine these floating past your window randomly and you will sleep great this evening. Terrifying jokes aside, spirits are a cool concept and they are expanded on pretty hard now with the 3/2 statue spirits from Strixhaven. But this will always be the official kind of spirit. This is also my second favorite art in this pack. Last time we saw Jason, he made us the Masked Vandal, a card that had a pretty harsh load to bear because of the lore it carries with it that would otherwise not have been told. This one has a huge story behind it as well, because of the nature of these spirits, how they are fleeting beings that constantly emanate energy and how they draw attention in a silent way, so that you will not know they are there unless you really dare to look. Ah yes, welcome to one of the ends of my videos, which are always very useful. Yeah, don't forget to decorate your walls, but also keep them pretty clean. See? These outros can be useful sometimes. Have a nice day.